Are you thinking about buying or selling a home or are a real estate professional and want to keep up with the Twin Cities market news, stats, and trends? Then come hang out with us for a little while. Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall, and welcome to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Always make sure you check us out online where you can find our free publications like the Smart Home Buyer, Smart Seller Guide, the BRIX Report, as well as links to upcoming classes at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. Again, that's TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. All right, we have taken a few weeks break for any of our regular listeners out there. I know I had a few people hit me up. When are you coming back on? I said, I'm just taking a little rest, getting things together, putting together some new show ideas. Yes, and taking a little breather. But today, I think we're hitting a good one. This is the time of year a lot of people are facing lease renewals.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And, I think there's not you talk to most people renting and the goal ultimately is, I want to buy a house. Right? But when do we make that decision? And so today I want to talk about the buy versus rent, the discussion that you might want to start considering if that is a goal, and when are you going to get there, or does it actually make sense to stay where you're at, right, and stay there for a little while,
right?
Because there's definitely times where that can make sense. But before we deep dive into that, I want to get into some of our stats. But first, I want to introduce Chad Priebe.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
It is,
yeah,
yes.
Feels good.
And Ben Greilanger. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good to see you, Ben.
Good to be here.
We had a heck of a turnout for our class a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
that was
nice
great.
That was fun.
Yes. Yeah, looking forward.
A lot of curious people.
Got another one coming up here in just a few weeks.
It's good being live again. I know obviously through COVID we had to do virtual classes, but being live and seeing people that are interested is awesome.
Yeah. Those for anybody who is thinking about buying a house, buying or selling a house, right? Maybe this is the second time around. And that's the thing, like this last class we did, we had 2 investors show up.
Right. Yep.
Well, why would an investor show up to a home buyer class, you may ask? Because they want to learn what's happening now. They want to learn those tools and techniques, those strategies to become an effective home buyer, even if that's for investment purposes. And that's what we're teaching.
Right. Yep.
I've helped advise plenty of investors over the years, hundreds and hundreds of property purchases that they've done. The stuff we're talking about is high level.
Right.
Again, this class that we teach is a version of it certified for continuing ed for agents. There's a reason, right? It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's all about coming up with that plan and not getting lost down these rabbit holes of fads or whatever that you can easily get trapped in. So it's staying focused.
Exactly.
Well, and I did a blog post. I don't know, probably about 6 weeks ago. Why take a home buyer class? And well, it's just the biggest financial transaction that most people ever make until they do it again.
And that's something that you're living in.
Yes, yes.
It's your home. You want to make sure it's a comfortable home.
Yeah, good idea.
Don't feel like
do some research, right?
Don't feel like you're like, oh, if I go to one of these classes that I'm admitting that I don't know something. Yeah. You don't know what you don't know until you know it, right? And it's actually a good thing. I mean, we're trying to help people out, trying to teach them how to leverage the changes in the market, how to leverage the information on the MLS, how to leverage the different tools that are available. So, check out that class, Hack Home Buying. I think that's on, what are we doing, on 29th or something like that coming up. So
yep. The invite
No, 26th. Yes, that's what it is. I'll check on the commercial break to verify that. Okay, so diving in, though, to some of what is happening in our market right now. So first and foremost, let's talk about showings per week per listing. That's running at a 7.33 right now. That's down just a hair over the previous week. Not a big surprise, though, because, we just had Easter weekend, right? That's going to play into showing activity dropping off a little bit.
Right.
The other thing is, though, is we are at that kind of peak time of year, right? Yeah. Where depending on which way the wind direction blows, either we're going to go up just a teeny bit or the market's going to start moving down. Why is this? It's because inventory is getting to that cross point with buyer demand out there where things start to actually slow up a bit.
Right. It didn't feel like a normal spring to me, at least. I felt like with the snowstorms, rainstorms, ice, cold weather here in Minnesota, parking restrictions, it just felt slower, even though there's a lot of people out there interested in buying homes.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and I think a lot of it's people waiting for inventory. A lot of the reason the inventory hasn't come is because of the long winter.
Correct.
So talking about new listings coming into the marketplace, it's been flat. It's been flat for like 5-6 weeks, not really moving up much, that's normally we're accelerating really fast at this time of year, and that's just not happening. So once we get this warm weather like we're having this week, I think it's going to make a difference in that inventory. I think we're going to see buyers really diving in, making offers out there. Pending sales overall, though, in comparison to new listings, are up just a little bit.
Okay.
So that is on the rise, I think, again, as we're moving into this time of year, partially because of what we brought up out of the get-go. It's lease renewal time.
Right.
Yep. So either you're buying or you're re-signing.
Yep.
And we'll talk about some of the things to mitigate that rush that we see this time of year because of that in the next segment. Inventory of homes. We're bobber bouncing, or the weight bouncing on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Right, bouncing on the bottom. We just are not coming up much, and it's because of that long winter out there. So we are very close to where we were even a month and a half ago as far as inventory. It's just not really going up at all.
Right.
Okay, so interest rates, they're having a hard time.
Yeah, that's kind of like that weight on the bottom of the lake, right? You're trying to get it up off the snagged rock, and it's not moving. But I think what I want to tell people is that be ready if you are in the market, if you're thinking about making a move, be prepared, because we are, like we've seen just from late last week into this week, rates have went down quite a bit. So if you were ready and prepared and you found that house, we got you locked in at a lower rate than we've seen over a long period of time. And now, unfortunately, volatility, we're kind of back up again with rates. So my point is, if you're prepared, you can strike while the iron's hot while those interest rates are down. And that's what 2023 is going to be like. We're going to have sharp ups and downs throughout the year. But if you're not prepared, you're going to lose out.
Yep.
That's really what it comes down to.
So, I mean, ultimately, I think it's the interest rates that are keeping our market meter where it's at. That said, the market meter is pretty strong at a 9.7.
Very strong,
right? So that's a very, very strong seller's market. But keep in mind, last year we got up to about 13.
Right.
Right? So it is slower than last year.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty darn strong for sellers out there. And, rates may drag this market out a little bit longer.
Because, I think rates being up a little bit higher, they're just keeping that buyer energy just a little bit quieter than last year, obviously, or 2 years ago. So.
Right. I like that tool you share out, the market meter.
Yes.
That thing, I love looking at that just for my personal. Check it out. If you're listening, check it out. It shows where we're at in the market. I love that.
Well, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll tell people where to find a link to that when we come back. Again, deep diving into renting versus buying. We'll be right back. Kirk Duckwall here again with the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Our local sponsors are BRIX Real Estate, Network Title, Eric Bloomstrand and Chad Priebe with Bell Bank Mortgage, and James Tufson with the Preserve Group.
When shopping for a mortgage, there is a formula to get the best rate. With the market today, knowing this formula is more important than ever. My name is Chad Priebe with Bell Bank Mortgage. I have over 20 years experience in the mortgage industry and in home buying education. I'd like to share this useful tool with you to help you shop for your mortgage. You can find me at chadpriebe.com or call me at 651-207-9274.
Hello, my name is James Topson with the Preserve Group. Anyone can sell you insurance. However, is it going to be the insurance you need? When life surprises pop up, you want the right coverage. When it comes time to find or renew your policy, give me a call. I would love to review your existing policy and show you what I can do for you. You can email me at james@mypreservegroup.com or give me a call at 651-728-4334.
Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall with BRIX Real Estate and the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest financial transactions people make. Before you make your next move, download our free Smart Home Buyer or Smart Seller guides to give you the edge in our real estate market. From deal hunting to knowing the right repairs for maximizing value, these free guides have it all. Check them out and more at BRIXTwinCities.com under publications. Welcome back to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Make sure you check us out online at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. If you have any questions for us, you can submit those there or show suggestions. Always happy to take your ideas. We want to know.
Fresh ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
What's on your mind? For sure.
Let us know the questions you have. All right. Today, though, we're talking about buying versus renting versus buying, and talking about the pros for each of those decisions or cons of each of those decisions.
It's a big decision. As
mentioned at the beginning of the show, I think most people renting, the goal tends to be towards ultimately buying a place. Mm-hmm. But we're going to get into why is it a good idea to continue to rent or to rent, and why is it a good idea to buy? Okay. And then break down some of the objections with buying.
Okay.
So, why rent? Why does it make sense to rent when looking for a place?
I think on a blanket level, not everyone needs to be a homeowner. Like, not everyone should be a homeowner.
Oh, well, we've learned that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't think, I have to buy a house. Like, you really need to think about it.
Right.
It's the right decision for you. So renting might be the best option for you, for your lifestyle. So
yes,
totally. I ran into a client that called me, and they were looking at their options to purchase a home. And after learning about their goals, I learned that they were moving. They're almost retired.
Yeah,
and they're moving out of state in 2 to 3 years. So I just told them, I said, I think for you would make sense to continue to rent. 2 to 3 years could be a little tough to break even, maybe, depending on the market conditions. So, it was a great conversation. I think they appreciated my honesty, and that was that.
Yeah, some people come gung-ho ready to buy, and it just doesn't make sense. And I think you hit the nail on the head. One of the primary is time in place. And what do I mean? How long are you going to be, here, right?
Right.
And if you're talking under 3 years, unless you're looking at potentially holding that as a rental property.
There you go.
Right? That it does not make sense necessarily to purchase, right? That we're probably going to look at rental as being a good reason.
Yeah. What, on the financing side, like if somebody's got an entry-level job, they maybe have a promotion coming in a year, they're going to be able to qualify for a lot more of a house. That might be a good opportunity to, just rent for another year, get your promotion, have a new job that you can then, buy the house that you actually want. That could be.
For sure. And that's a common question, right? Like I have an entry-level job. I just got out of school, got my career started. I know I'm going to be promoted in the next 6 months to a year. And that's just a good conversation. If you're a consumer out there thinking, if your wheels are turning about buying a house, that's why we say it's never too early to start the process, because we got to remember we're buying our first house, so we're not most likely buying our forever home. So we want to analyze where you're at today and then where you're potentially going to be when you get that pay raise or a promotion, and determine if now is the right time. Because you mentioned something very important. We're not buying a car, so if we figured out it's not the right, gosh, I wish we would have waited type of scenario. Again, you can't just trade it in and hope for the best, right? You're buying, it's a large investment that you're making.
Yeah, I think, and that's the number 2 in my opinion, which is you do have some significant job change that's going to happen as far as income level, and that really makes a big difference. I get people coming to me so often, they're caught up in the trap of, oh, we're gonna keep saving. We'll talk more about that in a second. We're gonna keep saving so we can buy this nicer home.
Right.
It's really hard to outsave appreciation. Virtually next to impossible for most people.
Yeah.
But a income change can boost you very quickly in that ability to go to that next level of house. And so that is a very good, in the next year, you're going to be finding or having a job where it's higher. Yeah, absolutely. Keep renting. Are you changing job in the short term?
Yeah.
Right? That's another one.
Yeah. And sometimes people may be ready, right? Financially, you're ready. You can make a purchase, but something in your life is holding you back, right? Maybe you're getting married, right? Maybe you have some plans, whatever it is in life that is holding you back. That's okay. That's okay. Don't rush into it, but start the conversation with a professional so you know what it looks like. You're educating yourself. Yeah. That's why we do these home buyer classes, is because we're educating people in order to make a smart decision.
Well, it's all about, even if you're continuing to rent, but your goal is to buy, make a plan.
Yes.
Don't just dartboard this. Don't shotgun approach. Make a plan.
Yes.
And the people that are going to be there for you are the professionals, to start talking to them. Just like you plan for retirement, make a plan to buy a home.
Please.
Right?
Please do that.
It's a really interesting exercise to take your rental monthly payment and put that into a mortgage payment, and what would that amount monthly payment get you in a house?
I like that.
For the size of a house or whatever in the neighborhood. So say if you're paying $2,000 a month, what would that look like for a buying a home?
Where it
What
can
kind
be
of
a
home
little,
would you get?
yeah. Where I've seen a little bit of sticker shock is, let's say you have a single person that's had a studio apartment for a couple of years and their rent's really affordable, right?
Yeah.
Now they get out of college, they land their career, and they go find that first home, and it is a little bit of a sticker shock, right?
Yeah.
Because that mortgage payment is higher than that studio apartment.
Yes.
But when you look at the big picture, what are the benefits? And that's what we're going to get into a little deeper here.
Well, and I think it's important to put it in context is yes, buying a house or a townhouse is going to be higher than that studio apartment. But what if you bought a studio condo?
Yeah.
Right.
What does that then cost, right? You got to make sure you're comparing apples to apples when you do this. And
Huge.
if that studio apartment works for you today and you would re-sign a lease for that studio apartment today, then maybe that's something you want to consider actually purchasing and building equity, right?
Gosh,
So,
please do that. Yes.
All right, moving on to why is it you might want to buy? Well, instead of paying 100% interest like you do with rent, pay 5-6% interest, right?
Correct.
When looking at purchasing and building equity, right? You now know, right? You know you're going to be there for 3 years. That's a good reason why to buy. I'm going to be here in this area for 3 years. Okay, start making that plan. How does that look to get to that goal?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
There's so many financial elements, and even like income tax, tax season, there's mortgage interest deductions, all these tax benefits. There are rental ones as well, but there are homeowner ones that help make it
Offset
easier.
your taxes.
Yeah,
That's a
offset your
big
taxes.
one, your mortgage interest, right?
Yeah.
If you're an income earner and you're renting, at the end of the year when you have to do your taxes, it's not always nice because you don't have that offset.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe
Thanks
if
for bringing
you're
that up.
looking for a little more privacy. Not every purchase is always going to get you that privacy, but you go to a townhome, go to a single family home, you're not going to have the footsteps above you or
Right.
next door to you.
You are king of the castle.
Yes,
You can do whatever you want in your space because you own it.
Yes.
There is that pride.
To an extent.
I just heard from an article I didn't hear, I read it, that 40% of Americans or people that live in the U.S. that own homes are equity rich.
Yeah.
That's huge, right? So buying your first home is building your financial future as far as look at it as another 401k plan that you're just building year after year.
Yeah, exactly. You start paying down instead of giving away.
Correct.
Right? And also you're stopping the bleeding on appreciation, right? You have to save that, average right now. I think it's about $13,000 a year you need to save per year just to buy the exact same house the next year.
Not easily obtainable.
Right? That's hard. I was talking with a past client of mine, and even people who've bought many houses still fall into this trap. Right? The cost of saving. I'm going to save to buy that nicer next house. I say, how much can you save? Well, I'm putting away $600 a month. Great. You've only made it halfway there to out saving appreciation, right? It's hard.
It's hard. And add a kid or whatever other expenses you have, and good luck.
Yeah, you want to buy what you can afford today. So we talked about the privacy piece of it, talked about building equity, right? Having that space that not just like privacy as in maybe I like to play music or whatnot, but you can also do things to the place. You can update it, you can change it and make it your home.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to put in this
color you want.
I want to build more equity. I'm going to put in this extra bathroom or I'm going to upgrade that, right? So
that gives you the sense of pride too.
Yep.
I mean, that makes you feel better. As far as me, I go out and do yard work. I come in, long days work in the yard. You look outside, you feel good about yourself. It's yours.
So when we come back, we're going to dive into one of my favorites, which is that costs of savings. We kind of touched on it a little bit, and then touch on a couple of other objections that people have sometimes with buying. Again, check us out online, TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com for all of our great free tools and publications.
Not every title company is the same. There are many people involved with each real estate transaction, and all of them need to be in the loop or a closing may get delayed. This is why the people at Network Title strive to provide swift scheduling and communication between the buyers, sellers, agents, and lenders. We know moving can be stressful, however, your closing does not need to be. Check us out online at network-title.com.
Hello, my name is James Topson with the Preserve Group. Anyone can sell you insurance. However, is it going to be the insurance you need? When life surprises pop up, you want the right coverage. When it comes time to find or renew your policy, give me a call. I would love to review your existing policy and show you what I can do for you. You can email me at james@mypreservegroup.com or give me a call at 651-728-4334.
When shopping for a mortgage, there is a formula to get the best rate. With the market today, knowing this formula is more important than ever. My name is Chad Priebe with Bell Bank Mortgage. I have over 20 years experience in the mortgage industry and in home buying education. I'd like to share this useful tool with you to help you shop for your mortgage. You can find me at chadpriebe.com or call me at 651-207-9274.
Welcome back to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. All right, lightning round here. Last 3 minutes of the show. Cost of savings, I kind of hit on that last segment, right? People get in this mindset of trying to save to buy that nicer house. It really is next to impossible. I mean, again, $13,000 a year you have to save. You really want to buy what you can afford today. Just like when you bought your first car, just because you couldn't buy that Ferrari that you wanted, you didn't go to Enterprise and start renting. Right? You want to buy what you can afford. Make those incremental upgrades as you can, even if it's a second home purchase. Go with that little bit bigger house, and maybe not the house with the acreage or whatnot. Take baby steps, right?
Yep.
Okay. lease renewal time. This is something I want to touch on. Is people sometimes will wait so long, and this is an objection. Well, I can't buy now because I have this lease coming up to an end. Get on a month-to-month lease. Get on a 6-month lease.
It might cost a little bit more per month, but like if you are serious and you want to buy a house, get on month-to-month.
Absolutely. You mentioned the market meter at the kind of beginning segment. So on the website, BRIX Twin Cities, you can look at our market meter. Lauren, do we have a link with a head nod or not on the Twin Cities Real Estate Show page for the market meter? I'm going to take that as I'm going to check on that. We will work
tomorrow.
on getting a link to the market meter on there. But yeah, right now for sure, BRIX Twin Cities, you can click on market meter. It's a great way to see how quickly the market slows down, that you getting on that month to month can get you that time to put you into a better market to buy.
And that's today's market.
Yeah, well,
not lagged a couple weeks or
right.
That's what I like about it.
I update it once a week. I do where the market currently stands.
Yeah, that's huge.
So the other big thing, people they get worried about maintenance. I know you mentioned that, Ben, and we only got a minute here, but
yeah, I mean, so yeah, a lot of people are like, I don't want to paint the house. I don't want to have to deal with the roof. That's where like a townhome or a condo can be a great option where you're owning it, you're building that equity, but the HOA takes care of the exterior, snow removal, lawn care. If you don't want to do that, kind of stuff, those can be great options.
What I love is you get the competing. Well, I don't want to do the maintenance, but I don't want an association telling me what to do. Yeah. It's like, well, if you're going to keep renting, you got somebody rent. Right, exactly. So getting into a townhome is a great option or a condo if maintenance isn't, and you can still build equity there. Yeah. All right, that show wrapped up so quick. Yeah. Again, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Chad. Check us out, TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. We'll see you all next week. People always ask realtors, what is your commission? But what they should be asking is, what is your rate of return? Commissions only vary by a couple of % from agent to agent. However, the price per square foot you get just based on their experience and the quality of marketing they use can vary by 10% or more. At BRIX Real Estate, our agents use the right marketing and have the experience to get you top dollar for your house. See what we can do for you at BRIXTwinCities.com.
Not every title company is the same. There are many people involved with each real estate transaction, and all of them need to be in the loop or a closing may get delayed. This is why the people at Network Title strive to provide swift scheduling and communication between the buyers, sellers, agents, and lenders. We know moving can be stressful, however, your closing does not need to be. Check us out online at network-title.com.
Don't forget to check us out online anytime at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. There you can find all of our past shows, our weekly market updates, along with the latest and greatest searching and researching tools, and our free publications to include the Smart Home Buyer Guide and the Smart Seller Guide, along with the BRIX Report. All of these free for you. If you have any real estate questions, please feel free to give us a call, 651-303-0019. Again, 651-303-0019. Happy to help answer any of your real estate questions or assist with your real estate needs.